Imagine dedicating your entire life to something no one understands. Imagine sacrificing everything for your art, only to be forgotten, ignored, and replaced by something stronger, more entertaining, more alive. This is the fate of Kafka's hunger artist, a man who fasts not just for fame, but because he must. His art is his existence, his suffering is his performance, and his end. Well, that's where things get truly haunting. Kafka's A Hunger Artist is a dark, thought-provoking short story about artistic suffering, obsession, and the fleeting nature of fame. It's a tale that feels eerily relevant today, in an age where artists struggle for recognition, trends change overnight, and dedication to one's craft often leads to isolation. But what if there's something deeper? What if the hunger artist wasn't just a performer but a prisoner of his own mind? Welcome back to the Literature Joint. If you love literature breakdowns, hidden meanings, and exploring the dark corners of storytelling, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon because today, we're taking a deep dive into A Hunger Artist by Franz Kafka. The story begins with the hunger artist at the height of his fame. In past decades, people were fascinated by the spectacle of extreme fasting, watching in awe as he starved himself for weeks, proving his endurance and devotion to his art. But his performances are never enough. He wants to fast longer, to prove his mastery, but the organizers always cut him off at 40 days. They insist that's the limit of what audiences will tolerate, for in his opinion, he was still only in the prime of his fasting, and if he had been allowed to continue fasting for longer, then beyond all doubt the world would have been amazed, spoiled as it was for wonders. But time passes, and the world moves on. People stop caring. New forms of entertainment replace him. The hunger artist is no longer a spectacle, just a forgotten relic. Desperate to keep fasting, he joins a traveling circus. But instead of the spotlight, he's placed near the animal cages, where no one notices him. The audience is there for the lively, powerful animals, not for a dying man in a cage. And so he continues fasting, longer than ever before, until one day, people forget to check on him. By the time someone does, he's barely alive. His final words: "I always wanted you to admire my fasting," he whispers, "but you shouldn't admire it." When asked why he never stopped, he reveals a tragic truth: "Because I couldn't find a food that I liked." Then, he dies forgotten, uncelebrated, erased from the world. His body is discarded like trash, and in his place, a strong, beautiful panther, a symbol of raw, effortless life. The panther seemed to find the world of its own taste. The audience is captivated. They admire the panther's strength, its hunger for life. It is everything the hunger artist was not. Kafka's A Hunger Artist is a story layered with meaning. It's about art, obsession, suffering, and the way society views artists. Let's break down the key themes and what they tell us about the world then and now. 1. The curse of the artist. The hunger artist is never satisfied, not with the duration of his fasts, not with the admiration he receives. He believes his art is misunderstood, that if only he could fast longer, people would finally see his true brilliance. But the truth, no one cares. Kafka is painting a tragic picture of the artist's life, a lifelong struggle for recognition that often leads to suffering and isolation. He alone knew what no other initiate knew: how easy it was to fast. It was the easiest thing in the world. This line is crucial. The hunger artist doesn't struggle to fast, he struggles with the fact that no one understands why. 2. Society moves on. In the beginning, people flock to see the hunger artist. They admire his discipline, his suffering, his performance, but eventually, they get bored. He might fast as much as he could, and he did so, but nothing could save him now. People went past him. This is a harsh reality. No matter how great an artist is, society will eventually replace them. A new trend, a new star, a new form of entertainment. Sound familiar? It's what happens to countless artists today. 3. The panther versus the hunger artist. Perhaps the most striking contrast in the story is between the hunger artist and the panther. The hunger artist is weak, dying, obsessed with his own suffering. The panther is strong, energetic, full of life. The panther seemed to find the world of its own taste. It was so full of life that it was not even willing to lie down. People admire the panther instantly. Unlike the hunger artist, the panther does not need to prove anything, it simply exists, and that is enough. This is Kafka's final, brutal truth. People don't admire suffering. they admire power. A Hunger Artist was published in 1922, but its message is timeless. Artists still struggle for recognition. Some dedicate their lives to their craft, only to be overlooked. Trends shift faster than ever. One day, you're relevant, the next, you're forgotten. People don't always appreciate suffering. No matter how much an artist sacrifices, the world may never understand. Kafka's message is a warning but also a challenge. Should artists suffer for their work? Or should they, like the panther, embrace life? What do you think? Was the Hunger Artist a misunderstood genius or his own worst enemy? Was his suffering noble or pointless? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's start a conversation. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. There's more classic literature, hidden meanings, and thought-provoking analysis coming your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.